Hello! Oh boy, back for another stream. It is Monday, May 27th of 2019, and I last streamed on Saturday, which was only 2 days ago, so not much has happened since then and now. Last stream I worked on a couple of things. The first was redoing this importlib-metadata branch in pluggy. The goal behind importlib-metadata was to speed up the startup time of PyTest and basically everything that uses pluggy. The first time I tried to do this, it broke a bunch of people that were using eggs, which are kind of an old format of Python project distribution. But I fixed eggs upstream and then reapplied this branch, and that got merged. That's good. I also made a release of that this morning, which the process for that was actually pretty easy. It was just like make a branch and push it, and the CI for plugin handles all of that on its own. I think I worked on this one offline. I can't remember whether I did this before or after the stream. There was a test failure in pre-commit depending on how you had things set up, and it would fail. It would unsuccessfully succeed, where it's expected to fail but actually succeeded. And this was actually affecting my machine too, so I figured I'll just fix it because kind of annoying to have a test that sometimes passes and sometimes fails. So I fixed this. The reason for this test is it wants to show... Hey, what's up, Snare Chops? This test wants to show what happens to pre-commit when... or what happens when you get commit and you've completely blown away pre-commit on your machine. Unfortunately, it was not successfully blowing away every situation where pre-commit was on your machine. It was only removing the one from the environment that you were working on at the moment. So I made it remove more cases in the path. This is just a loop which basically tries repeatedly to search for where pre-commit is and then remove that path entry so it doesn't happen. But fixed that. Found a bug in my pipeline templates, so I had to fix those as well. That was easy. And then the only other thing that I've done is I changed how the callback for warning on unknown keys works. Before it would just pass the extra keys and the expected keys, but you had no way of like producing a nice error message because you didn't have the context at all. So now it passes the context. Unfortunately, this is actually a breaking change, so I had to make a major release for this, but no one is using this yet. So like it was only introduced in 1.6, so it, in theory, shouldn't break anybody. The only thing it could have broken was pre-commit, but pre-commit hadn't been released yet. So I went ahead and fixed that there. It was basically just like improve the error message to mention where the failures were happening. But now I think this is ready to release. Today might just be a crazy release day. We'll see. But that's all I did that while I was offline. My plan for today is to add a feature to talks. Let me show you what that feature will kind of look like. Let me get up to date. So I recently went through and removed this from all my projects, although it got added back here because it was still in the contribution guidelines. But one nice thing about this devenv talks environment here is I can just run talks-e devenv and it'll make a virtual environment for me. And it'll just exist outside of the talks environment, and then I can use that virtual environment directly. So I can .vm pre-commit then activate, and then this is already set up for development. It has all of the dependencies that you would need. However, I kind of don't want to copy and paste these. It's only 3 lines, but if I was doing it more correctly, it would also have use develop equals true, and I don't really want to copy and paste these 4 or 5-ish lines everywhere. So I thought, well, how can I make talks do this automatically? And what I want it to be is something like talks-e, or I guess just talks-devenv vm dash, and I want this to essentially do this. We'll try and implement that. The other thing that I want to do is I improved the performance of Pluggy, which Talks also uses, and so I want to make that also speed up Talks as well. Those are the plans for today. Oh shoot, I have a bunch of email. Let's see. Someone asked what TQS. Okay. And looks like PyTest is getting close to releasing, which will bring out my performance improvements to the masses. But I'm pretty excited about doing that. I haven't run a PyTest release in a while, so maybe if that happens during a time where I could stream, I'll stream how that works. It's actually pretty easy. We mostly have a step-by-step instruction that we follow, and it's basically run the commands, make sure that they work. Other than that, it's not so bad. Yeah, like this command does most of the work for us. Beyond that, it's push a tag, and then merge. That's it. Honestly, the hardest part is trying to figure out the mailing lists. In fact, I don't think I'm a member of this one. I'm a member of this one. I don't know. The mailing lists are always the trickiest ones. Oh, and Twitter. Yeah, of course, you have to announce it on Twitter. But yeah, I think the first thing that I'm going to work on is trying to do the performance improvement, because I think that's going to be the fastest thing to work on. Do I have Talks cloned? I do not. So let's do that and get going. Today's a holiday in the US, so I took some time and just chilled out today. But I figured, I don't know, I have some free time, might as well stream, and I want to do some code, and so that's why I'm here. Okay, so the first thing to do here is require a newer version of Pluggy, which we haven't updated in a while, but 12 is the release that has my new performance improvements. The other thing that I need to do is factor out all of these package resources calls. The easiest way to do that is just open up all the files that mention package resources. We don't care about it there, but we do care about it here. So here we need to replace package resources.requirement. And I had to do this in PyTest as well. I think the way I did it in PyTest was to replace it with a package called packaging, which is how package resource actually works. Let me just show that. So package resources is this giant file, and it has this requirement class. Where is it? Yeah. It has this requirement class, which is just a extension of the packaging requirements class. And basically, all it seems to do is instantiate the base run and raise an exception, a specific exception otherwise. But we don't need all of this. We can use safe name. Safe name. Okay. Replaces all of the non-packaging specific names with dash. And I think there's this exact function is in packaging as well. But we will need to install packaging. And we probably don't need setup tools anymore. Yeah, we do not need setup tools in there. We can add packaging. What version of packaging is there? Looks like it uses calendar versioning, so that's not super helpful. We'll just say that any version is allowed. I'm sure I'll have to find a minimum version later, but for now, this works. So install packaging? No. So it's probably in packaging.requirements. I think I saw that earlier. Okay, from packaging.requirements, import requirement. This has a requirement.parse method, but I don't think that's what we'll use. Oh, spelling. That doesn't do the proper normalization. Hopefully there's a function in here that does that in util. I'm looking for the name normalization function. Make sure that still works. Non-equalize name. That seems right. Non-equalize name. What error does it throw? Invalid requirement. Comes from that. More package resources. Okay. Package resources dot get distribute. Yeah, so this has a side effect of raising an exception if it doesn't exist at the right version. Which I'm not sure importlib-metadata has an exact equivalent for. Forget what the API is here, so I'm just gonna cheat. Oh. Dot distribution. Okay, so we'll get package not found error if it doesn't exist. If it does exist, we'll get a distribution object. We have to check the version and all that other stuff. Is it the same error as above? No. Okay. Okay, so this exception happens if something after here exists, or after here errors. Package name is not in exist. Not in exists. I'm not gonna question it. Let's have a stir. Okay, cool. Cool. Need to importlib-metadata, which means I need to add that to the requirements. Wait, what did it complain about? Invalid or incomplete multi-byte, blah blah blah. Okay, that one's good, hopefully. We'll find out in a bit. We need to filter out requirements already specified in the pyproject.toml. What is the return value here? It build requires. Not actually what? Package devenv mconfig.deps. Here we go. That's a tuple. How does that possibly have a dot name? Am I reading this wrong? Maybe there's some other deps? This one, dep config. Okay, it receives a name and an index server. I'm gonna have to debug this because I don't know. Like, if this is just a string, I think this can be just canonicalized name, but I'm not sure what this is here. My guess is it's this dep config object, but it could also be whatever this is here. Steps get assigned. Ensure requires satisfied. Which, hey, is the function that we were looking at before. Okay, yeah, it's the same dep config as before. Oh. Different. Okay, I think we have a requirement object in here. So reconstructing another requirement object is silly. This can just be canonicalized name. Build req. I thought this was gonna be easy. I don't know what I'm doing. Get build requires. Okay, this is just gonna be some JSON. Build require script. Box constants. Yeah, the most of Tox has been rearranged since last time I did a lot of major work on it, so I'm less familiar with how it's working. Helper build requires. My guess is it's a list of string. I don't actually know that. What are you doing? Yeah, it's a good question, Future Hurts. What am I doing? I'm working on a project called Tox. The idea behind Tox is it makes configuring and setting up and testing Python projects super simple. Its primary selling point is, let me just show you an example. Talks configuration. Its primary selling point is you kind of define what Python environments you want to target, and it sets up all the virtual envs and installs all your dependencies for you, so you don't really have to think about that. It's kind of like a smarter Python-aware makefile. It also has some cool features for like running in parallel, or like setting environment variables and clearing environment variables and a bunch of other stuff like that. But the thing that I'm working on today is I recently changed how the plugin system of Talks discovers entry points, which is handled by this PyTest library called Pluggy. And what Pluggy does is it basically looks at all of the installation metadata and registers callbacks based on that. And I replaced the innards of Pluggy with a faster thing called importlib-metadata, which is a replacement for setup tools, which is pretty slow. So now I'm just going through Talks and replacing out all the uses of package resources with other things that aren't as slow. That's the goal. But yeah, hopefully that clears it up a little bit. If not, ask more questions. Happy to answer. I think this one is going to be easy to fix. Python 3, packaging.version. So it should have a version class. And it should have a invalid version exception. Cool. This is gonna be a little trickier to rewrite. So what this is doing here, or my guess is what it's doing, is it's traversing all the dependencies of Talks, so it can report all the versions when you run Talks version. Assuming I can spell. I'm running Python 3.6, which doesn't have breakpoint as a built-in, so I'm installing this package that I wrote that allows it to work. Apparently it doesn't run through this method, so we'll just debug it separately. requires, which is a couple. I.name for I if I.name not in visited. Visited.add current. That's super useful. What is the name? D.metadata project name? Name? Non-equalized name. Current dis.metadata name. Why is this done down here? Let's do it here. Current dot current name. Oh, it's kind of annoying that I have to keep running this canonicalized name function. I wish it was just provided for me, but alas, it is not. Current name equals current dist.version. So in theory, I don't actually need this visited because I can just look at versions. The name is not in versions, then to visit dot add non-equalized name. I think that's how that works. Version info. Oh, have to say for posts a couple of times, maybe. Use testemp dev. Where's the version info? Oh God, what is happening? I think I've made a terrible mistake. Oh no, it did finish. But I ran out of scroll back buffer. Try this again, it will be less annoying. Oh, I don't think this gets hit at all. Or at least I don't know how it gets hit. How does this thing work? The shell, maybe? Fig? Oh, here we go. I ran that time. Non-equalized name. Package not found, pytest mock. How was that supposed to work before? How's it getting to pytest mock? Oh, well, definitely broke this thing, whatever it does. Oh, we have all these extra equals testings. Interesting, but the package resources version of requires does not look up all of the other extras. So I need to do I need to parse these extras? I don't really want to do that. Let's see if packaging has a thing for that. 3 packaging. No, this is literally packaging. Requirements. Really? I just want the module. I'll just read the code then. Okay, it does have a marker here. Or like an evaluate markers, and that would be amazing. Evaluate markers, that sounds like what I want. Return the boolean from evaluating the given marker against the environment. Environment is an optional argument to override all of the determined environment. Marker dot evaluate, and so that should limit it to just the applied marker. Bit more work than it was before, but if it works, then awesome. Here's not fine, right? Packaging.markers. Non-type has no attribute expand tabs. Great. Great. Package marker is none, or marker. So if marker is none, or the marker matches. Oh, is it already a marker? Oh. That'd be awesome. Undefined environment name extra does not exist in the evaluation. Does now. Hang on. If current dis.requires is not none. Oh, I still wanted that file open. That worked though, I guess. Where does that thing that I was computing get spit out at though? Off the very, very top. Box versions. This is where it gets spit. Cool. Looks like it worked. What is this doing? New file name. Super awesome replace there. I wonder if there's an equivalent in packaging. -r, probably just search for the underscore string. No. And we have canonicalized name, which turns it into dashes, and then I guess we can just use that to turn it into underscores instead. Or I can just use the same implementation that they had. Place dash with underscore. Super awesome replacement. That'll get replaced automatically. And in theory, we should be package resources free. What commit did this happen in? Oh hey, I know Josh Schneider. I used to work with Josh Schneider. Tried the test which I wedded. Oh, he's a funny guy. Assuming it's the same Josh Snyder. I'm pretty sure it is. Hash brown cipher. Yes, this is the same Josh Snyder that I used to work with. He's a funny guy. I wonder what he's working on now. that stuff. Haven't really worked on much in a while. Memcache D. Poor guy. Get Facebook? Who knows? So let's look at this commit that I'm undoing. Oh. He's just using 2 file name, which I just factored out. Yeah, I guess. As long as the test pass. I'm gonna assume that most of them will fail, and so I'm gonna set max fail 1, and that'll allow me to iterate faster, hopefully, than running the entire test suite. Or they'll all pass. Who knows? Of course not. Oh, they pass. Alert talks create in I create. This provision is missing. Oh, that's not one. Put flaky. The UI? What is this thing called? Oh, it's just called flaky. All of them for me, and then I won't have to worry about it. That is very weird. Why did it not do the setup tools provisioning? This looks right though. It looks like it succeeded, but I don't know why it didn't do what I expected. I mean, I did change how the requirement stuff works, so maybe that's what it is. Which part of that is it? Oh, probably this part here. If I had to guess. Fortunately, that's really hard to debug. How am I gonna debug this? so it is specified at the top level. File is this. Oh, I hate when people write code in init.py. People, I mean, I just don't like code in init.py because it, I mean, if you're using an ID, it really throws off your ID, but also, okay, so the problem is importlib-metadata distribution package name. The problem is this version is different than, what's it gonna be? Package.version? Package.specifier. Containers. Okay. Okay, cool. So I can use this contains method. If package.specifier dot well, I wonder. Oh. So, cool, we get an empty specifier set. Contains this dot version. If it doesn't contain it, then do we have an appropriate error class? Missing dependency seems fine. Oh, I mean, that time it did it, because, dude. Okay, so we got the tox create this time, where it should be installing setup tools. How's that supposed to work? I don't know how that's supposed to work. See if the test passes. Maybe there's some magic in the test suite. I don't know how Tox would know to install itself. Well, I guess it passes, so. Must be working. Alright, we run the test suite again. Isn't that the same for test? We'll see why this one fails. Unknown interpreter. Well, that seems special. Why is it trying to do this? It must not be satisfying this requirement. Annoying. Why? Why do you not contain your own version with this weird thing? What the hell? Why not? That might ruin everything if that's not gonna work. How is this supposed to work? That's not what I wanted to do. Well, this might throw a whole wrench into this idea. I might instead work on the easier thing that I thought was going to be the harder thing. I thought this was going to be easy. Legacy specimen. Why is that a legacy specimen? Wait a minute. This individual spec contains that, but the outer one does not. What gives? Determine if pre-releases are to be allowed or not. You just said pre-releases equals true? Well, if it's that simple, then... try that. Okay. Weird, but okay. Any of these tests will pass? Who knows? Oh, that's only 26%. This is gonna take forever. We're way further than last time, so I'm confident. Maybe overconfident. Oh, shit. I spoke too soon. I think now I'll just let the full test suite run while I try and fix this bug. Failed to parse requirement parse error. Oh. Because the name change. Fix. Valid requirement. Hopefully that's what this test is. Because it kind of runs them in a random order every time, so it's... Actually, I think it intentionally runs them in a random order. So we have a randomly plugin. Hopefully this is the only test is the one that I just fixed, dude. Spring matching. Be way better. Chat's pretty quiet today. Why don't you guys say hi? Quietest chat I've had in weeks. Probably because it's a weird time, it's a holiday. I don't know. Maybe this is boring. Who knows? Usually people will at least say hi when they pop in, sometimes. But if not, that's okay too. I don't have to say hi. I'm happy to just sit here and talk to myself. Hey, what's up, Jane? I see you on Twitter all the time. You like everything that I post. That's not true, but first time I've seen you in chat, so welcome. No, it's true. It just means that I have high quality stuff, right? At least that's what I'm gonna keep telling myself. 100%. Nice. So this is the one test that we expected to fail. Cool. Okay, so I think this works. Famous last words. Okay, so we added importlib importlib-metadata and packaging, and we bumped up the version of Pluggy. And package resources should only be found in, well, that'll get fixed by pre-commit in a minute. Should only be in the changelog. And setup tools should only be in the tab. The PyTest plugin, fine. That is just like strings, if I remember right. Setup tools. Yeah. String literal. Quite an ugly string literal, but string literal. And this. What is this about? Remove once the minimum. Ensure the modification time of the egg info folder is updated, so we won't need to do this again. We don't even use setup tools. I don't know if this to-do will ever be done. That's okay. Oh, I should also profile this and see what the difference is. Pre-commit helpfully rewrote this for me. Whatever. Yeah, I don't like this, but what are you gonna do? Black says it must be, and therefore it must be. But yeah, wanted to test the differences. So last time I did this, I just cloned a rather large package, set up its virtual env, and then installed it in there, and it's pretty easy to see the difference in timing due to setup tools. Makefile, is that how this works? Virtual env run. Nope. That works. I'm not gonna be able to hit yelpcorp.com. Is there a docs call in here? Docs. Docs-i pip index URL. What? Oh, he was running the custom talks that I built. I don't know why that is still complaining there. Seems weird to me. Maybe that's expected. I don't know, I'll have to ask Gabbard. I guess I could also try it on master. This is going to take a while because it sets up a full virtual environment. I guess I could check out master and see what the behavior is there. Okay, so master has the same behavior, so cool. Didn't break that. Just weird, but as long as it's not my problem, it's not my problem. This is vacuously true. It's taking forever. What's going on? Let's see if we can see. It is building something. It is building YAML. We can kind of see when it installs stuff. Okay, cool. No. This installed 159 things. Okay. So if we install talks into there and then just do time talks version, for instance. Ooh, it's gonna be tough to beat 250 milliseconds. I usually like best of 5 as a performance benchmark. Oh, they did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So best of 6. Looks like this 256 is the one from that. Pip install workspace talks this talks dash 0.0.0. I don't know why it's 0.0.0, but huh? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so not that big of a difference, but it did shave off 40 to 50 milliseconds. 40, 46, what was it? 6 to 210? So 46 over 210 is a 22% improvement. Not bad. Not great. Not bad, though. Was it worth all the work? Maybe. Probably not. But we'll make that into a pull request, and then I'll try and implement the other feature that I had in mind. Probably need to write changelog. I always forget to write changelog. Checklist. Checklist is for me, mostly. So that I remember to visit. Add a news fragment. Fragment. I know whether you're Canadian or not. Bug fix feature. The feature, I guess? I'm gonna create this first and then modify it so I can at least have a number. Well, sometimes I'll just like guess the number. Wrote a descriptive pull request text. I did not do that yet. Why is this acting so strange? Stop that. Oh, actually, now that there's more installed, because when I upgraded it installed more things. Well, we were comparing against like a not a fair assessment. Let's do this again. time 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We actually fared better this time due to random. After. Let's ignore the weird looking 0, 0, 0. Interesting. Oh, it already installed import the metadata due to Pluggy, which I released this morning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We did 5 already. Okay. So, it was quite a bit slower the second time. That actually makes this look like a bigger improvement. 90 divided by, what was it, 208? 298? I never know which, like, this is how I would report it if I wanted to fudge the numbers a bunch, but I think this is the more, wait, 298. This is the more honest version. Savings, so 90 milliseconds. So somewhere between 30 to 40%. Added tests. No. I did update some tests. Docs. No. There's no issue. News fragment. I did that. I am a maintainer, so of course I'm in the contributors. Okay, we'll see what Gabber thinks about this. Well, actually, we'll see what CI thinks about this as well, because who knows. There's a lot of the... This one looks different than my CI. I don't know why this one looks different. Maybe this one has been opted into a different form of Azure pipelines that I don't know about. I guess let me show you what mine looks like. This is what mine looks like. A little bit different. Which, who knows? Let's build results. It's the same URL structure too. Who knows? Some mysterious experiment bucket that this user is in that I am not somehow. But I'm not gonna think too hard about that. I want to keep this open so I can watch it hopefully succeed. Okay. Okay, let's try and implement my other feature though, which is talks-devenv. Yeah, I'm still wondering like why this failure happens. It seems very, very weird to me. Maybe I'll make an issue about it. Actually, let's see if I can reproduce it without editable installed. No, that seems to have worked fine. But an editable install seems to not. That worked fine too. What is going on here? What's wrong with this virtual environment? I don't know. I'm baffled. Maybe I did break it somehow. Yeah, that seems to work fine now. This works now too. I have no idea. I have no idea. Oh, I bet if I check out... Oh, I bet I know what it is. I bet now it'll fail. Nope. My guess was that this egg info contains a version number. Yeah, this version number here. So this is 6, and this would be 5, and so those version numbers would differ somehow, and that would cause it to break. But I don't know. Apparently not. Apparently it's fine. Alright. Normally the way that I would get started with this is I would write a test. However, I don't quite know what... Did I make an issue for this? Did I make an issue? Did I do this the right way? No, I think I just added the other maintainer in a different place. Because I don't have my information. Isolated build fails with multiple specification of the same package with different constraints. Interesting. I wonder if my branch fixes this. It might mysteriously fix that. But okay, I didn't write an issue for it, so let's see if I can write a test. Not gonna be a unit test, but I don't think any of these are unit tests either. I guess we can see where someone toasted no. Play that. Will give us a hint. Okay, so this set up a tough environment with no test. So even though it says unit, it's okay to touch the file system, I guess. Test, no test. This seems fine. I can find a place to put my thing. Test devenv. Hopefully no one makes a package called fake on API. Results.assert success. Alright, that should be enough to kind of test this. And we'll iterate on that. Cool, it fails, like I expect. Now we gotta figure out where the entry point to talks is. CLI sounds like a good one. Nope. Config maybe? We'll just search for this string. Tell us where, hopefully. Oh, I had the right file. Oh, I think we finally switched to argparse, because it used to be argparse. So add argument is it's cool. Devenv. I should go through and clean these up, because this is unnecessary. Well, this one is necessary, but this one is not. Nor is this one. Maybe I'll do that while I'm thinking about it. That. Don't need that. Do we actually parse our own help? Stop help. Oh, we do. Weird. Kind of surprising. This one is different. Can't change that one. This one is fine. That one is fine. That one's different. Ugh, I want to just do like dash sham. But don't have that yet. This one is the same. Hey, what's up, JL97? How's your Monday? I usually don't stream on Mondays. This is a little bit weird for me. How's your Monday going? Why does this have 2 dashes here? Deprecated option, okay. That's weird. Oh, that one's slightly different. This one is the same. That one is the same. It's different. This one's the same. Audit all the actions as well. Store true. Store is the defaults. So is this. Very productive. Just finished running. Nice. How far'd you go? I went for a run for today. Run for today. I went for a run today. I know how to speak. That's how words work. Yeah, but yeah, how far'd you go? Default. That. There is the default there. Miles in 13 minutes. Damn, that's fast. I'm not that fast. I think I did like my usual pace, so I guess my like 5K pace is right around 7-minute mile? Okay, what did I do? What did I do at PyCon? I did yeah, right around like was it a 7:10 or was it an 8:10? No, it was 7:10. So my 5K pace is like a 7-minute mile. My half marathon is like a 8:12 pace. But you're at like a 6:30 pace, which is crazy. It's super fast. I did kind of a 5-mile slow run today. Wasn't trying to go fast. But yeah, I like to think that that 7 or 8 minute pace is all right. It's way better than when I started running or got back into running. I guess I ran a lot when I was in college. Never like organized, just like for exercise. But when I started back up, I was at like a 9 or 10 minute pace. It's like at that point I might as well be speed walking. Even with append, the default is still none, so we don't need that. Or default is none, those are the defaults. Action equals skip missing interpreter action. Don't know what that does. Skip missing interpreter action. There's a couple of choices. Value equals true if values is none, otherwise values. Okay, so if you don't pass anything, it's treated as true. Otherwise, it's a choices argument. Cool. Parser options now that we're using argparse. Black helpfully reformatted everything for me. I'm just gonna skip a changelog for this because hopefully no one cares about an internal argparse cleanup unless I made a mistake, and then everyone cares because everything's broken. Delete that. Of course, now that I'm cleaning this up, my other branch is going to conflict, but whatever. Fine. Basically, just took the root options when they were already in the defaults. But yeah, okay, back to my devenv branch. And my nice failing test. Argument devenv. Yep, invoking test commands. Help equals, oh, how do I want to describe this? It sets up a virtual environment based on it sets up a development environment sets up a development environment based on the talks configuration. These have periods at the end. They do. Okay. We'll do that so far. Let's look how show config is done. Okay, so here's where we'll do our operation here. This has to be true. So we should at least have some. Okay, cool. We're seeing what we're seeing. Awesome. Self dot make devenv don't need any options. Cool. It successfully does nothing. Okay, so what I'm thinking right now is I want no specification of -e to be the same as -e pi, which will just use the default system, but otherwise it'll let you pick one. But I don't know how to know whether... Oh, env list explicit? Okay, so if I do this, self.config.env list, explicit is false. Cool. If self.config.envList explicit, we're explicitly as for a specific environment, set of that one, else config. Figure out the right way to do this later, but for now that's good enough. Not what I expect to see. Okay, these are all the options we have here. We have args, distshare, distdir, distshare, mconfigs, envlist, envlist default. Under indexers in nothing that I expect, or not what I expect to see. Does that fix me? Fix me, good idea. No idea, bud. Let's see. Make and config. Make and config. Where does that make and config come from? What is this giant class? Parse any. Not exactly what I wanted to see. I basically want to make tox-epy work, but have the configuration be set up properly. But I don't know how to do that. I'm not familiar with how the test stems get created. Apparently this is where the configuration happens. Maybe I can recall this? Let's see the sketch. I do have the args available. Cool. That seems to work. A little bit janky though. Hopefully Gabber can know the answer to this. Okay, but now we should have our config. Okay, session.getVenv of that name. Work. How do I get to the session? Where's the session? No. So we need to reassign this emptor. Oh, and all of these things. No. Maybe I'm going about this the wrong. Music stuff. Yes. Keep playing the music. My guess is I have to feed through this devenv option through the configuration setup. Look at how that works. Which maybe will make this less jank, hopefully. We'll develop. Whoa, we got threads here. What are the threads doing? This method is insanely long. Holy crap. Develop is this or option.develop. Okay. Enter. Where's that set up? Oh, that's the PyTest plugin. And quality check. Test. How does this get set? Oh, here we go. Oh no, that's still not it. I don't know how this attribute gets set at all. Unless I can set a breakpoint and try and figure it out? Is there get-outer magic going on? No. We'll put a sneaky breakpoint here. Hopefully that'll show us. That's the breakpoint, but not the set on one. Oh, here we are. Devenv attribute. Add testdev attribute. Add an ini field variable. Post process. Post process function will be called for each testdev. Value is the value read from the ini. The testdev config is this instance. In this file that I already had open. Okay, so we know how this is getting set now. Let's get rid of that. We do have the global config object, so that's good. Okay, so I think I need a post process here. Maybe even as post process on the M attribute. Maybe not. Oh wait, that's not where this matters. Oh, yeah, it is. Add testdev attribute. Thick. Testdev config and value. If testdev config.config.devenv, then enter equals I think that's what I want. Whatever the pi.path.local invocation is. Yeah, I want. Okay, let's try that now. I think it has no attribute devenv. Option.devenv. Big error. Substitution key envdir not found. What? Jimbles the Doc says, "What do you want to do for a living?" Well, I'm currently employed as a software engineer, and I don't know, I quite like doing that. So I don't see why I would switch away from that. If I could do anything for a living, I would love to just work on open source and get paid for it. As it is, I don't really get paid for open source, so webs. I just do it for fun. But if I could do this all the time and somehow make a living off of it, what's the end goal? The end goal of today or the end goal in life? Do you want to know what I'm working on right now, or what's the question? Like, existentially, what's the goal? What's the goal in anything in life? Oh, sweet. Well, what I'm working on right now is, you didn't ask, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. Life. Oh. And the goal right now, I'm working on Tox, which is a environment manager test runner thing for Python. And I had this neat idea. Oh, I already answered it for life. Okay. I'm working on a thing that sets up a development environment for Tox. And having no idea what I'm doing. Substitution key not found. I mean, I did change that, so that seems correct. Alright, we'll run debugger and that's not what I wanted. Ender/10. Do replace. So why doesn't envdir exist yet? Seems weird to me. Section reader has an attribute envdir. Oh. Line 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I see. We have an ordering problem, I think. I'm putting our other computer projects. I love music like this. Yeah, so if you're interested in the playlist. It's listed in the description. Currently listening to this song right now. Unfortunately, I can't say the same about when I usually write code for the music I listen to. This is the music that I like to stream to. Because kind of two reasons. One is it's chill, so if chat's being annoying, which you're not being annoying, don't get me wrong, but sometimes chat can be a little bit annoying. It helps calm me down so I don't get tilted over people being mean. But also it's copyright free, so when I put this stuff up on YouTube, it's no big deal. I don't have to worry about copy strikes and all that shenanigans. But normally when I program, I listen to like shitty pop punk from late '90s, early 2000s. Basically the same music I listened to in high school. But yeah, but it's good to just kind of chill there. Add custom attribute. Weird that it doesn't run that one first. Like, this one's way down here. I'd have expected it to have gone in the other order. Maybe my post process is wrong? How's it supposed to work? Oh, it's just supposed to return the value. It's not supposed to mutate. My bad. Okay, maybe that's how I'm supposed to do this? I thought it was supposed to perform side effects, but this is actually better that it doesn't perform side effects. Side effects are literally the worst. Okay. Config dot enter. Sweet. Except it should have been a path. This. Gotta fix that. So Emder is fine, and Bender, did you get set properly? Sweet. I think after this, I just need to run the same code that the normal stuff does. It's just this. There's no way it's that easy, but we'll try it. devenv. Did not package project. It's because I was deleting the virtual env that I was active in, which probably broke it. So let's recreate that. So devenv vm-pi. These work. That would be cool. Why is it pi 27? No. What are you doing? Oh. Shoot. This is not working, so that's not what I want. No such file or directory talks. Did I blow away my virtual environment? How did that happen? Where did VM go? Something is very not right. And just because I'm paranoid, I'm gonna save this to a patch because random files are disappearing. So hopefully, things just don't disappear on me. I guess. What? Oh, I forgot to install. It's like, I was pretty sure that option was there. What was going on there? Now I really don't know what's going on. #r. Okay. Back to a place that I understand what's going on. Hey, what's up, Shoddy? How's your Monday going? How's your holiday? Do you have the day off, or do you have work today? I didn't have work today. I did have the day off. It was alright. How's your day been? It's going alright. I did some open source stuff this morning. I played a little bit of Pokemon. And then I've been streaming for the last 2 hours. I went for a 5-mile run. Not in that order, but that part's been pretty good. I'm now like scratching my head at why this is broken, but clearly because I'm parsing stuff incorrectly. Good things. You're at U of I, right? I've heard good things about their CS program. I know a bunch of developers that have come out of there that are good. Oh, and this should have been not crashed. Unknown environment pi. Oh, the other, the other, oh no, I see. Okay, maybe I'm wrong then, sorry. I think U of I would make all calc courses 55 for a C. What does your class make it? What's the right thing to do here? From option, from environment, from config. I have no idea what's going on here. Cricket. Oh, 55 for CFE. I really like how my university has a diverse tech collective, and now operating systems is a tech collective now. Interesting. I guess operating systems was a tech collective at Michigan as well. And it was a good course. I wouldn't say it was like super hard. Like if you went to class and paid attention, you would do well. That said, a lot of people didn't go to class and then didn't do well. Also, the professor was brilliant. What was his name? Peter Chan? Yeah, Peter Chan. This guy. He was so good. Apparently he's only teaching, oh, poor guy. He's only teaching Engineering 101, or 100. Eng 100. But when I took it, if I can just cheat the URL, it's 482. Yeah, I can. I think the last time you taught that was fall 2019. Oh, they're doing it. Oh, I guess we did through GitHub also. Did we? I don't think we did. I think we submitted zips, which was super dank. Oh, and Piazza. Why is this link still purple? I haven't used this. I haven't used Piazza in so long. Coping with hitchhikers and couch potatoes on Teams. Legit problems with group projects. No, that's not gonna work. But anyway, his operating systems course was amazing. I really liked it. At least I got the basic building blocks down in classes and objects. I know understanding object-oriented programming is huge, and it's pretty important. I go to class every day. That's good. I still can't believe you stressed about not getting an A. I stressed about not passing. Yeah, well, I don't know. I guess part of it is probably that I grew up with grade inflation, and like, if you didn't get an A in high school, like, you had to be a real fuck up. Due to the way that grades got inflated. Especially, well, even less than high school. Like, in middle school, if you didn't get an A, like, it was because you literally did not show up to class and did not do the basic homework, did not copy and paste from something. Like, it was really, really hard to fail middle school and high school. But some people did because they just really care. But I think I developed a bit of a like overachiever mentality from that, and like carried it over to college. It isn't to say like I got all A's. Like there were courses in college that I did poorly on. Not any CS courses. Didn't give a shit in high school and I got a 2.6. See, we had people that didn't give a shit in high school and got like 3 5s. Right now, I've got my shit together and I have a 3.8. Nice. College is what actually matters in life, or at least getting your first job. High school, people don't care. But if you have a 3.8, then you're doing well, my dude. So my problem here is I basically need to honor these two variables if they exist. Otherwise, if it's devenv, I need to set one of them to pi. At least I think that's what I want. If self.config.option.devenv and not from option and not from environment option equals maybe let's see if that works. It's totally a hack, but let's see if that works. Got through that time. It's how you use your weekends. I know how to expand my knowledge. I mean, I didn't use my weekends at all in high school, and I still did well. I guess I didn't really use them all that much in college either, but sometimes I did. I remember in like 2014, my brother failed college, but he got together and got his degree. How were your CS exams? Depend on the course. Like some of the courses, the earlier ones were like partially multiple choice, partially fill in the blank, and some like, these were the worst. Some were like you had to write code or pseudocode on the exam itself. Like, I hate exams like that because they're such unrealistic from how you would actually write code in the real world. Yeah, like, but I think they were mostly fair and they weren't too long. Like, I think you always like finished the exams. They were never like too hard to complete or too long. You had plenty of time. Although, I remember this one exam that was such bullshit. I was going, I forget why. Oh, I think this is when I was flying out for interviews. I was flying out for interviews, and one of the interviews lined up directly with an exam in one of my courses. And so I talked with the professor, and I was like, hey, I have an interview, it's kind of important, you know, like getting a job after school, kind of important. Can I take the exam early? And he's like, yeah, we'll set up some time for you to take the exam early. I'll give you an exam, or you're not allowed to talk about the exam because it'll affect your curve and all that. And I was like, yeah, fine, I won't cheat. Like, I'm academically solid, I know better than that. And so we set up the exam early, and I'm like basically the first person to see this exam ever. And I finished the exam, and then, well, I finished most of the exam, and I got to one part and I was like, this is syntactically incorrect. There's a typo in this example. It cannot compile. There's no way this code works. And so I went to the TA that was like overseeing me watch this test, and I was like, there's a mistake in this test. Like, this is broken. And he's like, no, looks fine to me. Looks good. And I was like, this is broken. And I wrote on the exam, this question is invalid because the code is broken, and I got no points for it. And it turns out they found the same mistake that I did and fixed it for the general exam. And so I got 0 points on that question. Everyone else got, I don't know, however well they did on that question. But I was super salty about that. It ended up not affecting my grade, but I still remember it. Still mad about that, but... yeah. But anyway. Were the professors lazy, or did they weed people out? I think all of our exams were fair. I don't think there were probably like a couple of questions that were like sneaky, but I think like every exam was fair. Did you ever have the pass the final exam to pass the course? No. Well, I guess maybe one of my... I think the lowest... I mean, I used to compute this for all my exams, which was like, what's the minimum grade I need on the exam to get an A? What's the minimum grade on the exam I need to pass? And most of the ones were like, I needed like a 40 or like a 20 to 40% to pass the course. A lot of them were like, I need an 85 or an 87 to get an A. Some of my science courses were not as good as that. Like the one class that I walked out of when I decided that I was done with biochemistry and wanted to do CS, I basically walked out like 3/4 the way through the semester, and I was just like, I'm done with this shit. But I still took the exams, and I somehow still passed the final, which was weird. I got like a B. I think I got a solid B in that class, maybe a B minus. But I just decided like, I'm done with this. I'm gonna switch majors. But I still did well enough, I guess. But writing code is shit. Yeah, writing code on exams is the worst. I wish they could get rid of all those because they were just bad. Use my weekend to get ahead. Good, it's good. People tell me I got this degree in the bag and I'm playing it safe. Interesting. B is passing, that's not counting curves. Biology is the truest weed out course. At least it was biochemistry, so it was at least slightly more interesting than biology. Not saying biology isn't interesting. I just not my jam. Self-out config. And this is pi. That's exactly the way I want it. Rid of this garbage. And in theory, if I press continue, it'll be what I want. Oh, I need to default use develop also. Didn't do that. My program design one was curved, but I got an A anyway. That's good. I think this works. Seems good. I don't know what that option is called. How is discrete math? I hear so much about it. Like, some people tell me it's simple, but others say otherwise. I had a phenomenal professor for discrete math, so that class was actually really good for me. Yeah, it is basically just logic, like logic puzzles and like proofs, and I guess the proofs kind of sucked. I didn't really like that part, but my professor was great. And like that class was one of those classes where you go to class and you actually you learn. She was great. What was her name? You know, becoming like the VP of something. English Education Board. Here's the members list. What is SOE? Oh, no, it's School of Education. No, not that. Her name. Regents. That sounds better. Meet the Regents. Bios and pictures. Not any of those people. Oh, it must not be that. Anyway, I can't remember, but she was a really good professor. But yeah, a lot of it is problem solving. Some of it is like induction proofs. Some of it is like, oh yes, well you just use the pigeonhole principle. But that course was good. I also had a friend to study with, so not that I really needed to study for it, but it was good times. Is linear algebra really easy? Because we did some at the end of Calc 2, and it's like, this is too true to be real. Yeah, I mean, to me, linear algebra was just like, apply the same strategy in a loop until it's done, and not so bad. In fact, linear algebra, for me, ended up getting jammed together with some other course. So we did Calc 2, which was differentiation. Or wait, no, Calc 1 is differentiation. Calc 2 is integration. Calc 3 was surfaces. Calc 4 was linear algebra and differential equations. Yeah. Yeah, so we jammed it together with differential equations, and I didn't think it was that hard. Or more accurately, I thought it was pretty easy. Use develop. Post process equals develop. In value or option or bool option dot, let's call it devenv. We're gonna do a syllabus, and 80 to 100 is an A in linear algebra, so I just need a 40% for a C. 80 to 100 is an A? That's, actually that's pretty standard. At least, I think a lot of courses that I took in college, like 80 was an A, and that was fine. There were very few courses where most people did well. Like a 10% curve doesn't sound that out of the question. Okay, cool. Use develop install. I actually have this down to almost not needing a special thing here. I wonder if I could make no test. Yeah, I don't know. This patch is not too bad so far, hopefully. Let's see, add devenv. Make envter get set by devenv if it's necessary. Make develop get set by devenv. My university is trying to make every course passable. They're changing the whole curriculum for every class. Wow. They're making it easier, I see. I don't know that I agree with making courses easier just so people pass. Like, if they're hard because they're legitimately hard, then I don't know. What is the most important thing you learned in college? What did I learn in college? I think the most important thing that I got out of college was networking with a bunch of people and learning a lot of like teaching skills and communication skills. I think from like a technical standpoint, the thing that I learned, or the most valuable thing that I learned that I probably wouldn't have gotten out of anything else was from any of the algorithms courses. Although, maybe I probably could have gotten that without going to school. Honestly, one of our algorithms courses, the lectures were done from Wikipedia. No joke. The professor just like opened up Wikipedia and that was our lecture. Which is not great, but yeah. I guess I'll put this here. But I don't know. I think algorithms were probably like the biggest thing, or like learning the theoretical part of big O notation, maybe. So who gives a shit about big O notation? Let's be real. To be honest, I don't blame you for that. Ding projects if they go to you for tutoring thing. Yeah. The internet is your friend. Google and YouTube have some powerful content. Yeah, they definitely do. And that, I mean, for the most part, they weren't really around. Like, there wasn't great YouTube content when I was going through school. That was like back in 2012. YouTube of 7 years ago was quite a different space. Of course, back then people didn't have great like internet connections, so high quality video wasn't really a thing. But yeah. I think what I actually want to do is if self.config.option.devenv else none, comma, false. Khan Academy saved me for math. Yeah, you were telling me about that. Thing is not defined. And then self.config dot that one. If they want my money, I'd give it to them. Yeah, shut up and take my money. Okay, this seems to work. Let me make my test pass. Results dot Did you go to the sports games at your university? Yes. I usually had season tickets for football and for hockey. And honestly, hockey was way more fun than football. Like, I don't know, our student section in hockey was brutal at like very at a baseline. They were very, very brutal. And it was incredibly funny. And our football team was usually pretty good. I mean, they weren't great a couple of years, but... Did I code while at the game? No. I rarely wrote code in my free time when I was at school. Is that true? Yeah. But most of the code that I wrote was... I guess we can even look on GitHub, because it goes back that far. But most of the code that I wrote at school was for school or to make school projects. That's garbage. Did you have Zybooks? I don't know what Zybooks is. Oh, no. Will my user page load? Nope. This is my life. This is what happens whenever I try and load my user page. Usually it times out the first time, and then the second time it succeeds. But, hashtag power user. 2011. I guess I did do some programming. Like I worked on a game that I wrote. This is way older code than that. But I worked on some games, I guess. Which I don't know if this even compiles anymore, but this is a C# version of my Ken game. Which you can no longer download on Play Store because stupid copyright holder was like, "You're violating the copyright," and I was like, "No, I didn't. I implemented it from scratch, and I didn't use any of your intellectual property. What gives?" And he's like, "Well, I'm gonna throw $100,000 and a lawyer at you," and I was like, "Well, that's fine. You can go fuck yourself. I'm not gonna fight you because I am just a starving college student." But I did work on this game while in my free time, I guess. So it's not strictly true that I didn't know. But anyway. Online homework, yeah, I didn't have Zybooks. We had a different thing for online homework, but it was really only used in like intro courses. Like my stats course used it. And the physics 140 and 240 courses test out. Did you finish all your projects on time and did you procrastinate? Did I ever turn in a thing late? The only stuff that I procrastinated on in school was English papers, because I did not really like writing all that much. But yeah, I didn't really procrastinate. I mostly like started when the project was handed out. Oh, so yeah, it's not really like 2048. It's more like Sudoku, but arbitrary sized. I can actually show you. If Android Studio will launch and not destroy my computer. I feel you. Yeah. Yeah, I started on projects early because I wanted to get them done and get them out of the way. And writing, yeah, I did not like that. There were several. This one essay, man, I don't know how I got such a good grade on this. This one essay had like a 10,000 word requirement. And I wrote 5,000 words and then wrote a paragraph after it. And I was like, look, I'm going to be real. It was a class where I was supposed to watch movies and then write essays about the movies. And I just like straight up skipped the movies and like I watched some of the movies. They were really fucking depressing. It was Eastern European cinema. And it was in kind of the like darker period of European cinema. But yeah, I didn't go to all the movies, and I wrote a paragraph at the end that I was like, "Dear TA, I was supposed to write about 3 movies in this essay, and it was supposed to be this many words. But I legit only went to 2 of the movies, so here's my information about the 2 of the movies. And I'm so sorry, but that's all I got." And the crazy thing was I got an A- on the paper, which is just like cool. But yeah, this is the game. Ken squared is my implementation of it. But it's like Sudoku in that you can't have the same number in the same row or column. The twist, though, is there's a number and a math symbol, and the two, or like the n numbers in that must be, in this case, like add up to 5. So this can be either 1 plus 4 or 2 plus 3. So it could be any of these. Now, 4 with a divided sign has to be 1, 4. And since there's a 1 and a... Whenever you see two numbers in kind of a line with each other, then that means that these cannot be 1, 4. And based on that, and like these ones are solved already because there's just a single number in a spot. And if you double click, it will autofill all of the ones that are forced already. So if I double click, we get 1 and a 3. And then because of that, you know this is a 4 and this is a 1. If I double click again, we know this is a 2, this is a 3, 1, 3, this is 1, 2, 4. As I've played a lot. This has to be a 3. That auto solves that. This has to be 3 plus 4, so it has to be 4, 3, 2, and then it should auto solve at this point. Oh, this is one of the cases where I had to write some extra code. Where like there's two solutions here. Like it could have a 1 here or a 1 here. The same here. So my game actually accepts both solutions, but the official Ken game does not accept both solutions. So sometimes you'll get it to the end and be like, what the fuck? That sucks. But anyway, this is the game I implemented. I usually play it in 9x9 mode in hard mode, which is a little bit more math. And in hard mode, you don't get this top bar, so you just have to play based on basically memory. Yeah, I hate writing. Like, I'm taking a history course this summer, and I start projects early. That's good. I'm glad I'm done with English. My English professor was weird. What the fuck, man? Take a C. No, I got an A- in that course, and I was partially proud, but also partially terrified. Those English papers, man, they planted fear inside of me. Yeah, there's nothing different than, like, being up at 3 in the morning and like, oh god, I need to finish this, and like, ugh. I still, like, sometimes wake up in a cold sweat, like I missed the deadline for turning in an essay or something like that. It's like, that stuff still messes with me, which is not great. Not gonna lie, I did my research paper the day it was due and I got an A. Nice. How did I build this? Just wondering. Seems like a lot of if statements. So it is an Android app. The code is actually on GitHub, I think. Where's this? And I've actually worked on it on stream a couple of times. I haven't worked on it on stream in a really, really long time. But this is the source. It was originally in Java. I ported it to most of it to Kotlin on stream. It's set up in kind of two portions. One of them is kind of the UI portion, where you have this like Ken game object. Wait, no, this is not the UI portion, is it? No, this is the data portion. This is kind of like a data structure. The backing data, which creates the like numbers behind the scene, is this Ken or Latin square, which this generation algorithm I believe is novel. I came up with it myself. It generates a square in n squared time or linear time. I forget. It was pretty good, but I couldn't find any other papers that generated Latin square faster. Most of them were like quadratic retries. It's like fast enough. Does it use XML for the UI? So some of the UI is using XML, but some of it is manually drawn. Like the game, I believe, is drawn entirely. This is the new version of this check. Where's the graphics code? This is not the UI code. I don't... Oh yeah, here's the graphics code. Yeah, so some like this part here is drawn. manually. But these are all individual components that are inflated with XML. So some of it is XML, some of it is not. 49135, so it can't be 19. So that would have to be 2 or 8 in here. And 2 could have to be, can't be 2, so it has to be 8. 13549, 135, so this has to be 2 and 6. But yeah, I'm pretty I've played a lot of this game. I usually play it on like the train to work, where I have time to zone out and play stuff. So it's dynamically drawn, which means you get a different board every time it runs. Yes, and actually that was a lot of the motivation for writing this game in the first place. Let's see. Where's the part where it's like why I made this? About the development, I was initially introduced to KenKen by a friend at school and instantly became a favorite. The only problem was KenKen.com had a fixed set of puzzles. So I decided to write my own version of the game so I could play as many puzzles as I wanted. Yeah, it generates a new puzzle every time. And it was originally because the official one, which I think is pay to play now, which is really fucking shitty. Yeah, like the original one... Click here. Fine, I'll disable ad block. I don't even know how to disable ad block. This can read and change options. Oh, I turn it off. This button? No. What? I don't know how to turn it off. Options. In Firefox, it's just like enable. Okay, fine. I'll just do this in Firefox because I know how to turn off my ad blocker there. No. Oh, it doesn't even notice I have an ad blocker. Oh yeah, it does. Turned off. Okay, disable it. But yeah, like these puzzles, if I remember right, are always the same and they rotate. Yeah, so this puzzle is the same every time I refresh. Which is just like garbage. But holy my version does not generate cages that are this big. Also, that is insane. 4,536 is this 5 square cage. Like, that's crazy town. Click the button on your PC and it will turn off. Yeah, that's how I turn off my computer, you're right. Do I feel like you ever talk code? Like, I say if and then a lot. Yeah. I think I definitely talk more technical now that I've written code. 5, 6, 7, 9. So this has to be 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 9. So this has to be 2 and 8. 6, 8. This one's actually an easier puzzle than most of them. 252 is 126. It's 63 times 4. And the reason... So one of these has to be a 7, and one of these has to be a 7. So that means these can't be a 7, is how I deduced that. 9, 8. 3. 9. This has to be 2 times 3. Does that help me? It could be a lot of things. 81 is usually interesting because it's usually like 919. In fact, can it be anything else? It could be 393. But this cannot be a 9. So it has to be 393. Because there's no other combination that makes that happen. This has to be 2, 3 now. Not gonna lie, Indian people on YouTube explain this stuff well, but hard to understand their accent. Yeah, it can happen. Sometimes my accent's hard to understand too. I slur my words a lot. 7. This has to be 4 or 5 here. That means this has to be the 1. This has to be 4. This be 2, 5, 6. So this one of these is 1, and the other one is 7. Click. Oh wait, that could be that. How did you wrap your head around concepts, or did you just Google/YouTube it? For this application, most of this was reading the Android docs, because this was before like the main Android development was a big thing. This has 9. This has 4. Or do you mean like school concepts? Do you like which thing am I wrapping my head around here? This is 1, 5, 1, 5, 4, 9. Must be 7 or 8. This has to be 5 or 9. 5, 4, 9. Oh, this is the only one that can be a 6. A 6. Be a 7. Oh, school? I mean, I didn't have any YouTube. This is the olden days. The less good days. When there weren't nice things like YouTube. 2, 1, 2. Promise, I'm almost done with this, and then we'll go back to writing code. So, that's P1 then, and we're done. Anyway, that's Kenken. Maybe I'll work on it more on stream sometime, but not today. Is that how I turned off? No, that's how you turn the phone off. Oh, I don't want that. Oh, go away. How do I exit the emulator? Close window. How to do it? I just right-clicked from the taskbar. But anyway, that's how. I don't know where I was going with that. But yeah, most of my ideas for like wrapping my head around concepts at school was to go to class. I also never bought the textbooks. I think for CS, like buying the textbooks is less useful. Although CLRS, I did have a copy of, but it was pirated. Had a PDF of that. How are the TAs? Depending on the course. Like for some of my courses, I had amazing TAs. Most of them, my TAs were pretty crap. But I don't know, they had graduate school to care about, and like teaching was probably their like 3rd or 4th priority, which is fine, I guess. Some courses like machine organization, you have to memorize stuff.
That's the way being is made up.
For my machine architecture class, I don't think we had to memorize much. We had to like know some stuff, but I don't think we had to memorize anything. I guess we had to know basics of like how we had this assembly language that was custom for the class. called LC2K. The idea was that it was this little computer or something or another. Oh, that's my multiplier. Here's the... yeah. Yeah, so we had these opcodes, add, NAND, load word, store word, branch equality, and jump, jump with return value, and halt, and no op. And so we kind of, like, we had to know how these basically worked for our exam. Granted, they gave us a sheet that was like, these are the instructions, so like, they gave us essentially this sheet on the exam, so it wasn't so bad. That was as close to memorization as we probably got with that. How do I know where the working directory is for this? I wonder if some of the TAs cheated their way. I mean, I'm sure some do, of course. One of my professors didn't understand anything he teaches to the point that he would run away from students that asked him for help. That sucks. I mean, in some cases, like, professors are only teaching so that they can work on the research. I kind of understand that. You spent the entire semester talking about how true and false work? What? What? Like, shortcut evaluation, at least? Something like that, maybe?
The interval is in some ways just as important, some ways more important, than what is complete.
Intro to computer programming. Huh. I mean, we taught about binary shortcut rules in our intro to programming, but that was like a 2-slide thing in a 1,000-slide class, so I don't know how you could spend that much time on it. It can't be an upper level course. Yeah, hopefully not. Jay Sean says, I'm trying to get my programming environment set up. Would you recommend I program inside of a VM? What is your base operating system? Are you running like Mac OS? Are you running Windows? And what programming language do you want to program with? Yeah, so the first questions on how you should get set up. Sorry, don't mind the bot. The bot's just trolling. Windows 10 or a MacBook Pro? So on a MacBook, on a MacBook you can probably get away with not using a virtual machine. On Windows you can also program with Python without a virtual machine. I just don't like to do it, so I use a virtual machine myself. But in modern Python, the development tools aren't that bad on Windows. You will run into a lot of edge cases where developers have not thought about or cared about Windows as a platform, so it'll be a lot more frustrating, and you're more likely to get things to work on Mac OS or in a VM. But you can absolutely get away with developing on Windows. I do sometimes. Most of my development on Windows I do through Git Bash, which ships with the Git tools on Windows. And like Python works here. I need to do some weird stuff to make it work properly, but WinPTY. But I don't know, I do some development on Windows for Python. It's not bad. But yeah, I like a Linux environment, so I usually set up a virtual machine to work on that. Are you using Python 3 in the virtual machine? I actually use a lot of different Pythons in the virtual machine. Oh, that's not... Usually I'm working with Python 3.6. That's the primary Python that I use. But I also... Oh, I even have 2.5 installed? Why do I have 2.5 installed? Python 2.5. Don't need that. Oh. 2.5. Go away, 2.5. I usually work in 3.6, but sometimes I work with 3.7, 3.8, and 2.7, unfortunately. Still some Python 2, but I try and stay in Python 3 as much as possible. What shortcut changed your life? I have actually documented the shortcuts that changed my life. In case anyone else wants to get my set of pro tips that changed my life. Honestly, the first one that changed my life was tab in terminals. I went like 2 years without realizing that you could tab complete stuff. And I'd like type out a whole command and then realize I had a typo, pressed up, and then like over and over, and then fix the command and then press enter. Like, never knew that you could tab complete directories. Well, it took me like 2 years to figure that out. Did I take applied mathematics? Yeah, technically my calculus was applied calculus. Applied honors calculus, which is weird. But it was just normal calc, but smaller class sizes. There's still things in Ubuntu that need Python 2 unless you're running 1810. Yeah. Yo, what's up, B? Good morning to you. Still streaming. He caught me before I was done. But yeah, here's my pro tips. I've documented them all. The first is Control R. I use this a lot on stream. Wait, where's their Python 2.5? Python 2.5 minimal. Okay. But yeah, I use Control R, which lets me reverse search for something. So Did I use it here? Probably, maybe. I don't know. But like if I wanted to search for the last PyTest command, I typed Control R and then typed PYT, and then I can press enter, and that'll run the previous command for a fuzzy reverse search. And you can press it again to search the one above that. That one's pretty cool. FC is cool. So if I like made a typo in the command, I can type FC and it'll open that command in an editor and allow me to change it. And then when I save the editor, it runs that command. That one's pretty cool. Control XE works the same as FC, except it's as you're typing the command, you can move to something else. Bang bang is pretty good. So let's say I did cat or ls proc 1 command or exe. Yeah, so like ls proc 1 exe, but I get permission denied, so I can just sudo bang bang, and what bang bang will do is it'll substitute this previous command and run that with sudo in front of it. So bang bang's pretty cool. Bang dollar is another one that I use a lot, so sometimes I'll be like, I don't know, nano test / foo, edit it in my editor, and then I can directly after that, I don't know, ls is not a good example, but usually I use it with like editor and then PyTest, editor and then PyTest, and that works out pretty good. Control V, this one's less useful, but sometimes you need it. But you can press Control V and then you can press a literal character and it'll print that. So normally when you press tab, it tries to invoke tab complete, like echo tab and tries to tab complete. But if you Control V and then a tab, it puts a literal tab character onto your terminal, which sometimes is hard to do. That's what that is for. Control / is a good one. So let's say I wrote this really evil piece of code that does this. And if I run this, and I try and Control C it, it doesn't let me kill it. But I can press Control / and that sends sig quit instead of sig interrupt, and that'll... The default handler is to give a core dump, but very few programs handle sig quit, and so they just die like they should. So sometimes if things are stuck and Control C is not working, Control / is good. That's pretty great. Another one is on GitHub. Let's say I'm on a piece of code, setup.cfg, and I want to send someone a link. So say I want to link them to my name for some reason. In the address bar, this link doesn't work as a permalink. So if I were to add code above here, this would suddenly point at something other than author. But if I press the Y key on my keyboard, it now transforms this into a permalink. So this link will always point at this particular line and this particular version. It allows you to basically keep a permanent link to something on GitHub. That was pretty awesome. The last pro tip, reading right? The last pro tip is tilde dot. And I actually have something I can SSH to, so I can show you this now. SSH has a secret menu on it where if you press tilde and then any of these characters, so I just did tilde question mark to bring up this menu. It has a bunch of like chords you can send that cause SSH to do different things. And one that I use a lot is when SSH is just like stuck for some reason, like the remote machine isn't responding, or like maybe the connection's going to time out. You can do tilde and then dot, and it will forcibly close the connection. And those are my pro tips. Those are the things that I've accumulated over the years that are like, these are quick things I can show people that people can benefit from. Anyway, that's those. The little things make a huge difference. Yes, they do. High school has a course, How to Google and YouTube. Do they actually? That sounds great. That sounds like a course that every high school needs. Every time I Control-C, it takes me out of VM. Not sure what you mean by that. Oh, inside of Vim or inside of your VM? Oh, like your control character is your escape character. So at least in VirtualBox, there is a setting. Where is the setting? Maybe it's in VirtualBox itself. Preferences. Input. Yeah, so somewhere in here, there's like right control. Oh, virtual machine. Yeah, host key combination. So you can change this to some other key. So I set it to right control because I like never press the right control key. I always use the left control key. But if you switch it to something else, like it's pretty good. On my Mac, I think I set it to like. Oh no, I set it to some key that I never press on there, like right command or something like that. But that's at least how you change it in VirtualBox. I don't know how you do it in anything else. Control-XC is FC shortcut. Yes, it's also an Emacs command, which is where it comes from. Oddly enough. Do I ever feel burnt out? Sometimes. There's some days where I just really want to drink. To be brutally honest. It's like, I just want to escape from code for a while and just... They need to add a course like that to high school. Oh, okay. I thought you were saying you already had one. I was like, that course sounds amazing. I would have taken that. I would have signed up for that. To be honest, if I get to ethics, I would talk about the problem of society not looking stuff up. Bro, you feel me. Like, I wish people would just look shit up. Like, it's not that hard. I was looking to buy VMware Workstation. Should I just use VirtualBox? I have never used VMware, so I don't know enough about it to recommend it one way or another. VirtualBox has worked great for me, except in one situation, and that was and this was 6 years ago, so it might have improved by now. On macOS with multiple monitors, full screening VirtualBox across multiple monitors just did not work. They might have made it better now, but this was a long ass time ago, so not super relevant anymore. But my friend was like, "Who made the NBA Finals?" Bro, I'll look it up. Yeah, I mean that one's easy to look up. Yeah, I just used Control R there because I wanted to find the last time I edited this test. Hey, what's up, JSean0211? Thank you for the follow, bud. Every follow counts. Where's my regex matching? Search RE not search. I create /VM. Probably enough for the test now. Well, I couldn't tell you the concept of an if statement, but I looked it up and it just made so much sense. Nice. What crashed here? Really? How did you not find this string right here? Oh, maybe this $sign? Anyway, this is as much as I want to do for today. I'm going to put this into code review and get the other maintainer to look at it and see what he thinks about it, and go from there. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up for me today. So it's been 3.5 hours, and I kind of want to eat dinner, because I haven't had dinner yet, and it's super late for me. But that's all I've got for today. Let me go through my normal spiel. If you missed any part of the video, I will upload them to YouTube afterwards. So if you want to find previous streams, they're also up on YouTube. If you want to find one that I thought was particularly interesting recently, where is that? The Verkzeug one. This Verkzeug memory leak one is pretty interesting. And that's youtube.com/AnthonyWritesCode, so it's the same as my Twitch channel. These streams are all unedited. I don't really do too much editing. Thank you, FromC, for the follow. Every follow counts. You can also follow on Twitch if you liked what you see and want to catch the future streams. Another thing that's relatively new, and there's a link down there somewhere. I have a Discord for my Twitch stream. And so if you want to hang out there, we mostly talk about... Oh, this is so broken. We mostly talk about like programming and stuff. Sometimes there's memes, sometimes there's code. Sometimes we chat about projects that we're working on. Sometimes I just literally help people write code, or other people help other people. It's kind of a cool place to hang out. But the link is down there. This is pretty new, so join it if you want to hang out and chat. I also announce all my streams on Twitter before I stream. That's twitter.com/codewithanthony. I usually announce like 60 to 70 minutes before a stream. And I also announce, or I like put my uploads there. My Twitter's pretty boring. It's mostly tech shit where I just like, this is a project that I made, or this is my stream stuff. I also stream on a pretty regular schedule, so usually it's 6 p.m. on some of the weekdays. Today was kind of special because it was a holiday. And I always stream at 1 p.m. on Saturdays, 1 p.m. Pacific time. So that one's consistent. If you want to be sure that I'll show up, that's the time to watch. But yeah, that's all I've got for today. I'm gonna go find someone to raid.